we focus on freeing up time for SMEs in Switzerland by helping them structure and automate their business processes. And we do it with automation tools, and then in some cases also with integration of AI solutions.
And can you share how did you come up with this idea and how did you get to this offer?
So part of it was mostly in working together with you, right? Starting out, I had a couple of ideas for a potential business where I was not secure with which one to go. So those initial calls that we had and documents and forms, questions that you have introduced, as well as our exchanges, helped me figure out that the previous business that I was doing or some of the industries that I was in and had experience were not really something that would motivate me long term, right? And we found this that I was really interested in business, in their processes, that I was anyway spending time learning about all the AI stuff that was coming out. So then it clarified that as a business idea with a potential.
So that's so interesting. So basically, is your realization to find something in line with what you're already interested in, but then find a market leader? Is this kind of the lesson you got out of working on something like this yourself, or what would it be to share with others?
Yeah, I mean, a big help was your experience with other businesses, right? That was a great one. Or just having a feedback from someone who is more experienced with startups to tell you, okay, does this make sense? Also, you question me about, oh, but how do you really feel about these other businesses? And then once that came out and clearly communicated, it was clear that this would be the most likely successful business idea for me.
Okay. And then can you share then, so once you have that idea and you clarify your positioning, we go through all these frameworks. And I think obviously this is the biggest problem for anybody starting out, because a lot of people have a job during this time. They're trying to transfer their skills from their job into a business. They're trying to figure out what matches what they like. They're trying to match it with the market demand. Obviously, it's a process. It's a long process. Most of the businesses fail. So obviously, this is a lot of trial and error. And so once you do that, what is your next key thing that you've learned starting something like AIA processes as the next step in order to, develop this further?
I'd say the next one, and that's something I haven't done with previous businesses, because the previous one, I was doing website development, also for SMEs in Switzerland, and that kind of just dropped into my lap. By a demand from colleagues of mine. And in this case, we had this idea, and there were clear steps on how we can check if the market will actually be interested in it. That was I mean, from theory, it is a clear approach, but when you start developing your own business, you skip it. So that was really helpful to put this business idea, to put its benefits into words on paper, to identify potential customers, and then to reach out to them. So just reaching out was something outside of the comfort zone, but it was a clearly needed step. And that's what we did next. And we identified potential customers that will have a need for this business on LinkedIn. And I was reaching out to them to see if there is an interest for this service we had in mind.
Yeah, and I think it's a pretty affordable market research for a lot of people, because they think, hey, I have to invest in this very complicated market research on one hand, or on the other hand, they just don't do nothing. They create a product and then they expect people to come to them. Yeah. What are some of the other learnings and transformations you went through? I mean, you went through very challenging and inspiring journey of starting something like this, and you're still going through this process. What are the other learnings that could be valuable to anybody else in a position like yourself, but let's say 12 months earlier?
I would say a big learning or big support from your side was if you tried starting a business before, you know that you can get lost in the details and not having focus on the actual thing that is necessary to bring the business forward. It's like editing the website, adjusting your vision, mission, thinking about the products. But at the end of the day, you don't have people interested or people knowing about your products. So a big help was having you tell me, okay, next thing that you should focus on is getting people to know what you're offering, right? To see if there is interest, and then jumping on these setter calls. So learning about calls, pitching, that was also something I have never done, but having a framework, having examples there was really helpful. That was a big learning. I would say one of the biggest one was just that it is a numbers game, right? So it really picked off when we added a second LinkedIn account. So we were sending out more messages. When we started a cold email campaign, where we were contacting 200 businesses a day, that's when the interest was finally coming through. And then it became clear that at the end of the day, it is a numbers game.